Hello everyone. In this lesson we are going to be talking about the past perfect tense. We will learn first how to form the past perfect tense, then how to use the past perfect tense, and how to form negative and question forms in the past perfect tense. Alright, so the past perfect form, let's talk about the form. We use had plus verb 3. You all know what's verb 3 or what we call sometimes past participle. It's the same. Like begin, began, begun. Like eat, ate, eaten. Okay? So we use begun and eaten. We use the verb 3 after had. Verb 3 for most verbs is the same as the past tense. This is what we call the regular verbs. Okay? We usually form it by adding d or ed or ied. For example, talk, talked, talked. Okay, this should be with a k. A k is missing here. Okay. However, the past participles or the third form of the verb, what we call verb 3 of irregular verbs, is different. We need to memorize it. There is no rule for us to learn, like begin, began, begun. So they do not end with ed and may not be the same as the past tense of the verb. So to summarize, the form of the past perfect is had plus verb 3. Let's move on. Let's practice. We said the form of the past perfect is had plus verb 3. So look at these words and put them in the past perfect. Joke, talk, admire, listen, and whisper. Take a minute. Excellent. All right. So joke becomes had joked in the past perfect. Talk becomes had talked. Admire becomes had admired. Listen had listened. And whisper had whispered. Good. Let's move on and try to understand when do we use the past perfect. It is usually connected to the use of the past simple. Okay. But we have to know when to use the past perfect. The past perfect, as it says here, expresses an action or actions in the past before another action in the past. Okay, this is the past in the past. Okay, past simple and past perfect are all in the spectrum of the past. This means that for us they ended. But when we have two actions, the one which happened before, the one that happened before is in the past perfect. The one that happened after is in the past simple. Let's look at this example to try to understand again. Look at these two sentences. The train left at 9 a.m. We arrived at 9:15 a.m. Okay? We have two sentences in the past simple. When we want to use them in one sentence in the past, we say when we arrived, the train had left. So here we use had left in the past perfect because it happened before we arrived. Okay, let's move on. Again, we use the past perfect to talk about an action that ended before another action or time in the past. We use sometimes before and after. We use the simple past too. Let's look at this sentence. As we said, the film had started before we arrived. This means that when we arrived, the film had already started. This means this had started happened before arrived. We also use the past perfect to show the cause of a past action. Sometimes we talk about cause and effect. I was tired on Monday because I hadn't slept well the night before. So I was tired. Why was I tired? Because I hadn't slept. It's the past perfect in the negative. So this is the reason for my being tired. We use it with the time expressions such as when, after, before, as soon as, by the time, by, and until. For example, by the time I got home, my mother had already prepared dinner. So which one happened before? Got home or had already prepared? Absolutely, had already prepared. Good. Let's move on. Again, this is a drawing that shows the past perfect on a timeline. This is the timeline, okay? This is the present moment. This is the past perfect. This is the past simple, okay? Let me just use the annotation here and use a spotlight. This is the use a spotlight. Okay. This is the past perfect here. This is the first one that took place. In the past simple, second one that took place, and this point here, this conjunction here is the present simple. Okay, let's look at this example. The Titanic, the movie you all know probably, the Titanic had received many warnings before it hit the iceberg. So we have two actions, had received and hit. Had received here is in the past perfect because it happened before it hit. A second example, I had already eaten when my friend stopped by to visit. So had eaten happened before stopped by. Therefore, had eaten is in the past perfect. All right. Let's look at this slide, which talks about the negative past tenses. Okay. How do we form the negative? It's easy. We use had, then we add not, and verb 3 stays the same. Had, not, and verb 3. For example, I hadn't visited that restaurant before today. I hadn't visited that restaurant before today. The players had not eaten before the match finished. The players had not eaten before the match finished. Abid had not completed the assignment before he went to school. Had not completed. Let's look at the question form. How do you form questions in the past perfect? Okay, we use had plus the subject plus verb 3, the rest of the sentence, and question mark. Example, had you cleaned up the mess by the time they came home? Question mark. Had, okay, this is had, this is the formula, had, you, the subject, cleaned is verb 3, and the rest of the sentence and question form. Had Sammy spoken to the CEO before he was fired? Had and spoken. Using a WH question. What had they said that made him so angry? Good. Now let's try to exercise and finish our presentation by doing this summative exercise. All right. Let's look at these sentences. We here need to use either the past perfect or the past simple. Let's look at the first sentence. Fiona learned Italian before she go to Rome. Okay. So we need to decide which action took place before, and the action that took place before is in the past perfect. Absolutely. What do you think? Excellent. Fiona had learned or learned. Of course, we can use learned or learned. Both are okay. Italian before she went home. Went to Rome. Good. Emma watched TV after she do her homework. So you need to decide which one happened at first in the past. The action or that happened at first is in the past perfect. Emma watched TV after she do her homework. Excellent. So doing her homework was the first thing that happened. So it's in the past perfect. So let's start. Emma watched TV after she had, and verb 3 of do is done her homework. Good. By the time Jerry and Emily get to the cinema, the film starts. By the time Jerry and Emily, excellent, got to the cinema, the film had started. Excellent. I not finished my project when Vivian called me. This is the negative. What do you think? Excellent. I had not or hadn't, in short. Verb 3 finished my project when Vivian called me. Good. After we eat our dinner, we go out for a walk. So which one happened before? Eat our dinner or go out for a walk? Excellent. Eat our dinner. After we had eaten our dinner, we went out for a walk. Good. Good. Kelly not have breakfast before she leave for school. So which one happened before? Excellent. Have not breakfast. So Kelly, hadn't, had. Verb 3 of have should be had. Okay? Hadn't as a full verb. Hadn't have breakfast before she left to school. All right, excellent. So this ends our presentation for today. This is all what I wanted to share with you in this video. Thank you for watching. All the best.